media.
Also this hour, mixed reactions to calls for religious leaders to formally share any prophecies or spiritual insights of national importance with the government.
Plus, staying active and eating healthy. We'll tell you the story about one woman's lifestyle changes and how it is making the journey through menopause smoother.
Welcome to a brand new week as Ghana mounts. This is News Central. I'm Kemini Amana.
And I am Mawina Egbeta. The bulletin starts right now.
As you very well know, the three-day national mourning ended on Saturday, but Ghanaians continue to flock the Jubilee House to take part in the solemn floral tribute to the 8 fallen heroes who died in the helicopter crash on Wednesday, August 6th. The Ghana Health Service, led by the Director General, Professor Kaba Akotia, as well as other organizations, were also there to pay floral tribute.
Most of them were our personal friends, were our close friends. I remember very well Alhaji Muniru. We worked together more than 20 years in the Ministry of Health. I remember very well Dr. Omanebuama. We've been friends. So we just have that solemn obligation to join the nation, join the families, join the world to express our condolences and wish them a farewell.
This is obviously a tragic loss. We are very sorry that this happened, but we felt it was important for us to be here to show support, to pray for the families and also for the departed. The reason why they were traveling was obviously important for our business specifically, and we hope that the right policies are in place to honor their memory.
At a solemn wreath-laying ceremony in honor of the helicopter crash victims, the chairman of the forum, Isaac Bampo Addo, has criticized what he described as insensitive behavior from certain political figures during a time of mourning. He further called for the establishment of a union government as a way to imbibe economic growing and foster unity across political lines.
This is an incident we should all soberly reflect. We've listened, we've heard from social media, the platforms. It's rather unfortunate when you hear statements from people as if they are jubilating, they are happy. Our society is sick. This is the time we need to analyze the sort of democracy that we are practicing. We are not moving forward. It is abababase. Our democracy is producing crap, koto, car politicians. And we need to take a second look at our democracy. The way we are going, we're going to crash. If one party is in power, the other party, and that's why I say they are crap, koto politicians. One party, whether what they are saying is good or is good, everyone knows it's good, but they'll pull him down. It must come to an end.
Now, the presidential envoy for interfaith and economical relations has called on religious leaders to formally share any prophecies or spiritual insights of national importance with the government. Elvis Ifree Ankra is the presidential envoy for interfaith and ecumenical relations and has been speaking about this initiative.
We have a great deal of respect for religious leaders, and as the statement said, they've been partners in nation building. However, we've gotten to a point where things seem to be getting out of hand. Every single day, we are seeing messages, TikTok messages from different kinds of people prophesying very serious things concerning the nation and its leadership. And I dare say that it's causing a lot of fear and panic. My inbox is inundated with various prophecies. Have you seen this? Have you heard this? What are you doing about it? And you people, so, and more often than not, when you probe further, the challenge they say is that they don't have access to government officials. They are not able to reach us. People don't pick their calls. People don't respond to them, etc. So we have created a channel, a WhatsApp number, and an email address that if you have any prophecy concerning the president, the vice president, senior political leaders, prophecies that border on the security of the state. For example, if you say that an aircraft is going to crash, a military aircraft, it's a security matter. Those are matters that you should relate to us. We're not saying that your normal, everyday prophecies in church about your church members or people, you should bring it to us. So that's not what we're saying.
Reverend Dr. Cyril G.K. Fayose is General Secretary of the Christian Council of Ghana. Rev, I'll hear your response and reactions to how things are playing out so far as this is concerned. But first, let's hear the response of the public on this matter.
The president has his own responsibility, so as the pastor. If the prophet see anything, he should pray against it. If God reveals to redeem, why don't the prophets pray against it before making it public? The prophets shouldn't wait for the deed to happen before they talk about it. I agree with the directive, but it should have conditions.
And I'll say it's bad because I feel it's violating. You just stand in your church and then you say, oh, this person is going to die if he or she don't do this. It maybe might affect the person's mental health and he or she going out publicly because his name is out there that he's going to die.
Well, Reverend Fayose, you just heard from members of the public. Now government is making it easier for the clergy, prophets, people with spiritual insights to reach out to them if they have any message of national importance. How does this come to the Christian Council?
Well, we have also seen the release and our...
Reverend, you're going to have to speak up for me. We can barely hear you.
Yes, I'm saying that good afternoon to your cherished listeners. And we have seen the release, and our immediate response is that we send a message back for an engagement with the council sometime next week. Since we are still in the state of for the rest of this week, we are calling for engagement.
I see.
And for further clarification as to exactly what they are asking us to do.
Oh, so but Reverend, you think it is clear from the statement from the Elvis Ifree Ankra, the presidential advisor on this matter. He says that if anybody at all, any clergy, any man of God or woman of God has any message that will have bearing on national issues or national figures, come tell them, let them know. Isn't that a good thing?
We support every measure that will augur well for national cohesion, peace, and state security. We support it, but as I said earlier on, the position of the council is that there are things that we need to understand. We need further clarification. It's clear to you, but it's not clear to the council.
Right. So, Reverend, in that engagement, what questions would you ask of government?
The council is going to ask the question, not me in particular. So the council's position that
let me rephrase that question. If you, Reverend, let me help you out. I'll rephrase the question. If you seek clarifications over what?
Over exactly what they are asking us to do. Because when you say prophecy, it covers a very wide gamut. Which type of prophecy? What should be the level of importance of the prophecy? So on and so forth. So we need further engagement. That's the point I'm making.
Very well, Reverend, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for talking to us. Reverend Cyril Fayose is with the Christian Council of Ghana. He says there should be an engagement with the council to determine or clarify issues to do with the latest directive from the presidential advisor on religious matters. And we'll bring it closer on our stories to do with the passing of the 8 persons on that helicopter crash.
And you're back here on News Central. Let's bring you a bit more stories outside of what has been a rather difficult week for Ghanaians. And this time, a storm is brewing in the camp of the New Patriotic Party as campaign teams of leading candidates in the party's presidential race flagrantly flout directives by party leadership. It follows what has been a war of words from the Baumia and Kennedy Japan camp over the weekend as a battle for who leads the NPP into the 2028 election picks up. This is despite the party directing all campaigning be brought to a halt pending the Akwetia by-election. The development sparks fresh concern again over the hold of party leadership on members in respect to its directive. Shortly, we'll engage a political analyst on the latest that was seen on the front of the New Patriotic Party. But let's first walk you through what the commentary has been on social media, reason for which this conversation is actually happening. And we're starting off from the camp of Kennedy Japan, who started it all, and their spokesperson, Kwesi Kwate. He had quite a few things to say with respect to second chances being offered to candidates. And he says that it is misguided and untenable for anyone to suggest that the same person who led the party to their poorest and worst defeat ever automatically is given a second chance, especially when the party's first flag bearer in the 4th Republican Constitution, Professor Edu Boahin, was denied one despite the circumstances surrounding his performance. He proceeds to make the argument that they who, amongst many other things, believe that Kennedy Japan is the best individual to lead the NPP into the next election. He's not the only person who's been speaking, because we know as well that Miracles Abuaji, who speaks for the Baumia campaign team as well, has been, amongst many other things, speaking to what exactly it is they have to do with respect to everything that's been playing out as well. And so a bit more on what he's been saying, and that's Kwesi Kwate. He makes the argument that the 2028 election will not be about second chance candidates. It will be about strong candidates. It will be about credible candidates. And most importantly, a winnable candidate. And that is where Kennedy Japan comes in. But like I mentioned, Miracle Sabuaje, who speaks for the Baumia campaign team as well, has been speaking and speaking quite strongly. And he says, directing this straight at Kennedy Japan and his campaign team, that your candidates, and if an inference can be made, that candidate being Kennedy Ohene Japan's reckless temperament, divisive rhetoric, and history of inciting violence makes him utterly unfit for the presidency, whether on the first chance, second chance, or third chance. He will just not cut it for our dear party and country. And that's Miracle Zabuaji with that one. But we know that the party, amongst many other things, issued a directive, which we're bringing you details of right now, having to, amongst many other things, urge and ask party members to stay off campaigning until they retain the Akwetia seat in the by-election scheduled for September 2. Here's what the General Secretary had to say at a press conference at the end or the last days of July, specifically on the subject matter. Now, he said the decision of the party is that since we have an important by-election coming up, the Akwetia by-election, all attention and focus must be directed there. Aspiring candidates shall have the right to move around the country to campaign only after the Akwetia by-election. We are calling on every member of this party, especially those who aspire to contest as flag bearer, that the attention and resources be geared towards helping the party to retain our seat in Akwetia. So, yes, the party's position, but it does appear that the leading candidates in that race, their campaign teams, are having an absolutely different perspective as to what the directive is. Let's speak to Dr. Samuel Efrie, he's a political analyst. He's joining us right now via Zoom for a quick chat in relation to this. Doc, I appreciate your time and for you speaking to us. Your thoughts on what really is a disparity between what the party has directed and what campaign teams of leading candidates are choosing to do at this critical point in time?
Yes, Mauna, I think that the party came out with a decision that they have to finish the Akwetia by-elections, that is after 2nd September. So I don't see why they still have to try to come up with this kind of situation. And that is quite unfortunate. So the party...
Doc, I think we're having a bit of a challenge with respect to the connection to you. I'm hoping we've rectified that now, and possibly you can make your point. Let's try one more time on the party and the expectations of members.
Yes, you know, I think the party need to draw the attention and bring those people in line with the party rules and regulations, because the party said that we all have to wait for the Akwetia by-elections. But it's quite unfortunate that you realize that they've just started. And the earlier, the better. I think the committee that are in charge for the elections, they have to talk to them, especially their presidential candidates, so that they can bring their spokespersons to order. Because if your care is not taken, it might be out of hand, and it might not help the party.
Is it not already out of hand, what it is that we're seeing? There are those who raise concern, and rightly so, that this part that the two leading candidates' spokespersons are on could lead to intense division, that even in the aftermath of the presidential election, there will be a difficulty for the party to put them back together.
Yes, Mauna, it's possible that if they don't shape their spokesperson in this direction, it will create a lot of problems for the party, even after the elections. And that is why they have started. Because when you look at the content, they are attacking individuals. That is the personality of the people that is the candidates that are involved. And even the process have not even started. the people have not filed for them to even declare to be presidential candidates. And you see these things coming early as possible for these kind of intensive internal conflict. I think the party executives need to sit up, especially the committee, and even Council of Elders need to come in some of these issues, because it seems that the way they are going, it will not help the party. The personality attacks is so strong at this stage, and it needs to be avoided as soon as practicable. If not, I'm sorry that the party will be worse even after the elections.
And Doc, just finally, there's been a lot of talk about the party intervening. You've mentioned the Council of State. Can they do that? Because for many people, this has been happening for quite a while, and political scientists like yourself, other persons within the party have asked that, look, persons need to step in, stem the tide, the nature in which the campaigning and the politicking is going within their own fold, and yet this continues to continue. Can the persons you've named really be able to step in and have something done?
Yes, Mamra, for now, I think the party national executive has lost it, and they can't contain the personalities involved. So that is why we are urging that they will look at the national executive, the NEC. They have to come in because they have respected people at the top. And maybe they can also consider President Kufuor to call them in order some of these issues, because if the way that kind of caliber of these people, it needs people who are above them, beyond, and have that kind of respect and clout within the party to manage these things. Because for now, the national executive has lost it, and they can't contain these issues that is going on with the personalities involved. Right. So it has to be above those personalities.
Doc, I appreciate you speaking to us. That's Dr. Samuel Efree, but we know that statesman and elder of the opposition New Patriotic Party, Kwame Pieni, has been speaking, amongst many other things, to these challenges. He fears that leadership for the party may be long missing.
Mr. Pieni, you are an elder of the NPP, like you just said.
Yes.
What do you make of the decision of the party to elect a flag bearer first ahead of the other grassroots elections? I mean, kind of doing it from top to the bottom.
I don't agree with it. We are trying to restructure the party. We are trying to get the young people who are running the party to halt, look, and listen, so I will get the direction right. I know a lot of founding members of the party who are unhappy with the direction and state of the party, and who are anxious and contacting the current leadership of the party, both in Parliament, the National Secretariat, and the Council of Elders, to try to hold a stakeholder engagement to look at the direction and state of the party. They are worried about the direction the young people are taking the party. And I'm hoping that we'll soon get our act together to rebuild, to restructure, and build a united front to move forward.
Are the young people listening?
I think that once 50% of the solution is identifying there's a problem and posing a question. They have to listen, because it's their future. As I said, it's not my future. The young people in the NPP now, it's their future. If we do not listen and restructure our party, the party NPP will become as irrelevant to the politics of Ghana as the CPP has become.
Is that what you see with the current happenings?
Yes, if we don't restructure, regroup, and unite ourselves, we'll become as irrelevant as the CPP has become in our politics.
Away from the politics of the NPP, let's turn attention now to a matter of equal concern to this country, especially, you know, in the face of the mourning. We have not been keeping tabs on what's happening in the health sector. And this time, we want to talk about Mpox, because Ghana has, of August 7th, confirmed a total of 346 Mpox cases with 1 death in 14 regions. The increase in number in cases is raising concerns among the general public.
This is not so severe and it has not killed. People play down on it. The other issue has to also do the issue about stigma. People trying to come out to say that I have the disease and reporting. So that's the way we are trying to address it, by trying to enhance our awareness question. I think that maybe in Accra it's not that loud. But if you go to areas like Takwa and parts of Western region, there's a lot of house-to-house using their vans all going to create the awareness, because that is the hotspot. You understand? So I would say that we are doing them optimal, but there's a lot going on. And I think that we need to communicate that it's not a disease located to only Western region. It's across the country. As a ministry, as a service, and as a country, we, through WHO and the Africa CDC, we'll be getting some vaccines. But we don't want to place our focus on the vaccines, because the disease is a disease that can be prevented. So we're still saying that it's a disease of contact, and people should make sure that they avoid contacting persons who have the rash. The only issue is that some people have the rash and they are covered themselves with long sleeves. You will not see it. So there are two things here. The person who has the rash must try and avoid getting into contact with persons. And the persons who also do not have the rash should try and avoid getting in touch with persons who have the rash. And the other two, which is the indirect one, is maybe using the bed or using the towel or the sponge with somebody who has a rash. So we'll keep on pushing on it whilst we try to get this vaccine for this targeted group that we think that will help us break the transmission.
Well, on that note, you take good care of yourself. We'll take our very first break. When we come back, we've got more stories ahead for you. Don't go away.
Why are more and more professionals choosing Flamingo paint?
As an interior decorator, I aim for that beautiful, elegant look. Flamingo paint has great hiding ability to cover and transform old walls easily with just one coat.
Impressive. For me, as a professional painter, I love Flamingo paints because it gets small paints that paint huge area, meaning more profit for me. Great value for money.
As an architect, Flamingo Paint, with its well-researched and solid composition, guarantees durability for all my buildings.
Flamingo Paint, superior hiding, superior coverage, superior durability. Flamingo Paint, simply superior.
In Ghana, West Africa, the mornings are somewhat, if not for the perfect companion. What a good day to start. Work is always effective with NASCO Home Appliances. Classic home appliance for the fisher folks. And Nijepa, and what NASCO feel. NASCO, bring home happiness.
This is the show that brings finality to all the critical issues. It is the stage where all the facts are checked, issues thoroughly interrogated, opinions shaped, and debates settled. But over here, we do more than just talk. We resolve problems, We hold those in power accountable. We address all the key happenings in society, from politics to health to education to everything you deem important. And we will center the voice of the ordinary Ghanaian. This is the show that sets the agenda.
Agenda now shows on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. on TV3.
TV3, first in news. When the sun rises, there's hope. While this hope lingers on, the citizens look up to the government, the economy, the national development agenda, and everything in between. On Ghana Tonight, it's our utmost priority to bring you insightful conversations on the economy, break down the biggest issues while setting the agenda for transformation and national development. The big and important stories are treated from the human interest angle, while the facts and the figures are painted with precision. So now, let's cut the convention and start the conversation here on Ghana Tonight. I am your host.
And welcome back to New Central. Let's start regional hub from the Volta region, because students at the Vakpo Senior High School in the Volta region continue to sleep in bed-bugs infested dormitories as the school battles with inadequate accommodation infrastructure. School authorities say the overall state of infrastructure in the school remains a major setback to effective teaching and learning, and are appealing to government to intervene. There's more in this report by my colleague Faisal Abdul Idris.
The Vakpo Senior High School is one of the oldest second cycle institutions in the North Dine district, established in the 1960s and was later absorbed by government in 1970. The school currently has more than two-thirds of its 1,500 student population housed on campus, putting a strain on the school's existing accommodation infrastructure.
In the night when we are about to sleep, some of our colleagues have to wait for us to be those sleeping on their bed to sleep before they lay their beds, and some have to even sleep on the pathway which we sleep on. We walk on, and at times some of them even sleep outside on the corridor because the dormitory are already choked. Those sleeping, at times they have to wake up from their sleep because we have to get ways to pack, and we don't find it easy at all.
Any single time where, a section, we have 600 girls in school, in average 600 girls. So because of that, the space seems not to be enough. So we converted a washroom to the uncompleted building to a space for them to use, which is not convenient for girls actually to use. But that is what we have now. So that is what we are using. The block we stand in front of was an old boys' dormitory. But technical men came to realize that it's not safe for use. So because of that, we moved the boys to join others at the new block. So over there, we converted the chobox room that is attached to the new block into boys' dormitory, which is also there. So it's a difficult situation for us as a school.
The discomfort at night goes beyond inadequate sleeping spaces, as congestion in the dormitories has become a breeding ground for bedbugs.
Students are forced to sleep on the floor. Also because of the overcrowding, there are bedbugs
all over, and at night you are not able to get enough sleep. And as you can see on the wall, at night we wake up killing bed bugs everywhere, killing them, and there's not enough sleep. So we go to class and sleep during class hours. What else are supposed to be learning? We sleep, and it's not helping.
Because we don't have enough spaces for us to keep our trunks and chobuses, they are kept with us in our dormitories, where bed bugs infest in our chobuses and trunks. Also, reptiles like snakes and other animals enter into our dormitories, which really affects us. Spending almost half of the night in killing bed bugs and cockroaches. In class, we spend most of our time in class sleeping.
From inadequate accommodation facilities resulting in sleepless nights to lack of classroom space is the story of a school that has contributed significantly to the country's human resource development for over 6 decades.
Our classrooms are nothing to write home about. They are not enough. We don't have teachers' bungalows, which really makes maintaining discipline on campus very difficult. But we don't have a library as of now. So all these things are needed. We are pleading with the government to really come to our aid.
Now, promotion of peace, gender equality, and social inclusion has been identified as key elements in the development of various metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies across the country. Often than not, issues of gender equality and social exclusion have become a major cause of conflicts which have led to mistrust and anger among people. In a bid to ensure fairness and equality among various groupings, Choice Ghana, in partnership with Cognita Ghana, has been engaged in various stakeholders in the East Gonja and Northeast Gonja assemblies. For more on this, we're joined by Christopher Amwako, our Savannah region correspondent. Christopher, tell us more about this partnership.
Kemini, the various assemblies, when they are taking decisions, usually leave out women, children, and the other vulnerable groups, and so which goes a long way to affect their inclusion in decision making. This has been identified as one of the major causes of conflict within inter-conflict within the various assemblies in the country. And so as a means of ensuring that everybody is brought on board when it comes to decision making at the various assembly levels, Choice Ghana and Cognita Ghana through the EU have been engaging these assemblies to ensure that anytime there are key decisions to be taken, anytime they are going to undertake developmental initiatives, the various groupings should be brought on board so that they will be able to champion this under the peace project. And so that has been taking place in some assemblies in the Savannah region. The director of Choice Ghana, Mohamed Seidu, has been encouraging assemblies to adapt to this strategy so that it will influence development. Let's take a listen to what he's been saying.
The whole thing is, how do we promote peace, prevent violent extremism? And often than not, at the bottom of a lot of conflicts has to do with the issue of gender inequality and social exclusion, which have actually created kind of mistrust, the pain and anger and stress among people, leading to some conflicts. So this particular project is preaching for assemblies in the course of its discharge of development duties should ensure that there is that fairness, there is that equality among people of youth, age, tribe, and all these people, so that everybody feels fairly treated. In that case, there is that calmness among society. And also when it comes to the issue of the social inclusion, we urge in the assemblies, which of course will be guided by a strategic document that we are developing through the support of Cognita Ghana, to get assemblies to have a blueprint as to how do they mainstream gender equality and the social inclusion, ensuring that all stakeholders come on board the development process. This is more important as we have, as in recent times where communities are fast urbanizing, Populations are fast growing. Community demand for development is very high.
Meanwhile, Christopher, the police is blaming opinion leaders on interfering in the discharge of their duties. What have they been saying about this?
Yes, so Kemini, according to the police, anytime the citizens call for protection, enhanced security or police protection in the various communities. However, whenever police take action and suspects are apprehended or arrested, the same community members come to the police station to, as it were, beg for them to release the suspects who have been arrested. And so the police have been complaining that there is one aspect of it that is making their work very difficult. And they have been given instances where arrests are made and community members, opinion leaders come in, even known criminals are arrested, and these people come in to seek for their release. Let's take a listen to what the police have also commented in this regard.
Now, be like a conflict after that one day, we are okay here, 100% in South Africa. But in terms of individual peace at your home, your website, your shop, that one day, we are inviting them criminality in South Africa. Because somebody will come to police station to lodge a complaint that somebody has went to my shop, made away with so many things. When you arrested a person, in process to send the person to court, you see the opinion leaders, my fathers, you come. And police, we are dealing with the stakeholders in Salaga, our opinion leaders. Where our chiefs come with their smoke and this, you can't look at them and say this. You only want at law last to grant the person. So we are finding difficult here.
East Gonja police there expressing worry about the interference of opinion leaders in the discharge of their duties earlier. Christopher Mwako, our Savannah region correspondent.
Live here on TV3, the Speaker of Parliament and the leadership of the legislature are this afternoon visiting the families of the victims of that helicopter crash from last week. They are currently at the home of Alhaji Muniru Limuna. Let's take you there right now where my colleague Christian Yali is with the team for live details.
So I will say we are most grateful for this show of solidarity. In moments and periods like this, it is the quality of support that the family gets from people far and near that keeps them standing. And yesterday, as we all know, we had to, as Muslims, to return them to where they actually originally came from. And we are all in transition. We shall go when the time comes. Sometimes it is difficult to accept the reality that it happened, but indeed it happened. And this is not going to be the last time. It will continue happening, except that we pray that such tragedies shouldn't occur again. Because each one and every one of us travels per modern technology. Either you are on a car or in a motorbike, you are prone and you are susceptible to any malfunction or any human error. I pray that this tragedy has awakened the conscience of the country, and we shall resolve to right whatever wrongs that have happened. I wish to stop here, and maybe if I know the speaker has personal knowledge of Alhaji Muniru. At a point in time when he was in the civil service, he worked directly with the speaker when at a point he was the Minister of Health. I know it will not be out of place to ask him to share a few thoughts, even though I know he might not want to talk. But then he was my senior in class anyway, and I can take liberty to ask senior to share a few comments with us.
So that is the family welcoming the speaker and the delegation.
Let me first and foremost indicate that this is a parliamentary delegation made up of staff of Parliament led by the clerk, Mr. Jethro, who spoke earlier, and the deputy whip of the majority side, Honorable Comfort Doyo, and then the chief whip of the majority side, Honorable Roxon, who is here with us. Then we have the deputy minority leader, who is here representing the minority leader, Honorable Patricia Ajay. Then, Ajay, sorry, Patricia Ajay. Don't worry, Mr. Speaker. Last night she didn't treat me well, so she and I will have our quarrels. And then, of course, myself, Mahama Ayariga, and of course, the leader of our delegation, I'm sure we all know, the Right Honorable Speaker, Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin. The long and short of what the clerk tried to say is that at the time of the occurrence of the accident through which we lost our brothers, we're all out of the country. Myself, the speaker, the clerk, the chief whip, and some other senior colleagues in Parliament were all in Boston attending the National Conference of State Legislature. And so we were not in the country. And when we heard it, we took various steps to return in time to meet the burial ceremony, which occurred yesterday. So we're all there at the burial ceremony and decided that this morning we will come in person to the residence of the deceased to personally commiserate with the family. And that is what has brought us here. We should have been here immediately after, but because of our absence in the country, that's why Speaker is coming today. And I'm joining the Speaker to come today, and then the Chief Whip is joining the Speaker to come today. I have known Alhaji Muniru for a very long time, since his days at Ministry of Health. But I got to work more closely with him when he became the Upper East Regional Minister. And I was then also a colleague in government as a minister in the government of John Dramani Mahama. And those days, as Member of Parliament for Boku and also a colleague minister, he worked very closely with me. And I would say that this is a person that you can never find a fault with when you are working with him in terms of process, procedure, protocols. He would know how to relate to everybody that he works with. And I know that he became very close to His Excellency the President. And during our years in opposition, he continued faithfully and loyally to work with us in the party, to work to return the party back to power. And indeed, his effort and the effort of all of us bore fruits, and our party came back to power. And again, during that period of setting up government, he has been very, very instrumental, being close to His Excellency the President, providing very wise counsel, and running all sorts of errands, both for party and for the President as a person, and for government. And so it came to us as shock and very devastating to learn about the loss of our brother in this tragic accident. And so the Speaker and I and my colleagues and the clerk, whilst we were away, instructed the parliamentary leadership to assemble the members of parliament to come and on our behalf visit the family, express our condolences as we took steps to come. So I believe that the parliamentary delegation came much, much earlier. Indeed, the day after, I think, the incident, I instructed them to assemble and come here to represent us. But since we are in town, the Speaker definitely, as tradition demands, will be here in person and to express our support to the family. I'm even closer to Alaji in other respects. His wife is also my auntie and sister. Everybody knows how close I am to Alas and Libby. And so for us, it's double loss. My very good friend, my former comrade and colleague, and also the husband of a sister. So we suffer significantly from this loss. And it's not just him that we've lost our colleague, member of parliament. We've lost a colleague who I have served in government with, the Minister for Defense, Dr. Omani, and of course the other persons, Murtala, and then the Air Force officers, and our NADMO official, former parliamentary candidate, and all those that we have lost in this tragic accident. All we can say as a parliament is that for us, and I believe for everybody living, we all know that this day will come. We all know that this day will come. When it will come, we don't know. How it will come, we don't know. But these moments, serve as a lesson to us as we live, to define how we want to be remembered. And I can say, and I can testify, that these brothers of ours that we have lost are people that everybody who has testified will give a very, very good testimonial of. And for me, the loss is painful, but we should live with the memory that they lived a very great life. They defined a path that we all admire, and we will continue to have memories of these wonderful persons. And we want to assure their families that we pledge to remain family members and replace, even though it is not possible to replace, but we will do our best as surviving family members to provide them the care and support that we can afford. And we in Parliament will do what we can to remember them. A lot of discussions are ongoing on radio and etc. I just want to assure Ghanaians that in moments like this, let us be united as a country. It's a painful tragedy, but let us remain united as a family, as a nation, so that we can support the family of the deceased. This is when they need us most, and so we should be available for them. I thank you very much. And the Speaker is so devastated, but we will compel him to say one or two words. Like you said, he was very close to all of them. Dr. Murtala, Alaji, Omani, all people that the Speaker has worked very closely with. And so we can all understand how devastated we are. But Mr. Speaker, people want to hear something from you. Takbir! She should say something on behalf of the
Right Honorable Speaker, the majority leader in Parliament, the leaders in Parliament, the Clerk of Parliament, honorable colleagues, on behalf of the Minority Caucus, once again, we want to extend condolences to this family. We have already paid a visit, but after the remains has been properly preserved, it is only right that we come and commiserate with you again. And I don't think I'm going to be extensive in whatever I want to say, because we've already shared, and many of you were here when we came along. So I'm giving the opportunity to the Right Honorable Speaker to, we indicated earlier that he was not available, and once we found the truth, he's here to also give us words. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Colonel Sandra. We thank you so much for the introduction. And I want to remind all of us of the gift that the Almighty Allah gave to us. And our focus, as well, should be to thank God for what has happened. We say, in all things, give thanks to God. God knows better. God knows why this happened. This morning, I'm sure you are aware we're to be here earlier than we came. That again was another intervention by God. So even though we compelled the conference to start very early,
Fortunate, the Speaker having challenges with the sound there, but management of Media General, led by Group Chief Executive Officer Madam Beatrice Hajiman, earlier today laid flowers, paying their respects to the 8 individuals who tragically lost their lives in the military helicopter crash on August 6th. Speaking on behalf of the Group CEO, Group Finance Officer Albert Ishen Geshen highlighted their contributions to national discourse and called for decisive action against illegal mining.
Our condolences to the families of the 8 gallant compatriots who have lost their lives in a rather bizarre and tragic manner. In particular, for the 2 ministers, for Alhaji Dr. Murtala Mohammed and also for Dr. Omanebo Ahmad. They were no strangers to us at Media General, to TV3, to our other networks. I mean, you know, as a media organization, we work hand in hand with a political class, with a governing class. So they were always in our studios, all right? I mean, they appeared on our flagship programs, on our key points, on our other programs. We worked closely with them. So it hit us also very hard, all right? It hit us very hard. And so, you know, if you ask how important, it's so important to us, we can't put any measure on it. For us, we were humbled by the humility of the two. And I think that it is no new thing. People talk about Dr. Omanebo Ahmad, they talk about Alhaji Dr. Murtala Mohammed, they talk about how selfless they were, how humble they were. So I think for us, and also that they died in the line of duty, like you said in your intro. So we are more encouraged also to work and sacrifice for our nation, and especially when considering the fact that they were going to the program to launch an event to combat what has become an existential threat to our country, this illegal mining. So I think that we should not let their blood go down in vain, that this should be a wake-up call for all of us as citizens to wake up and make sure that we fight for what is right for our country, for posterity.
That's our bulletin for you this afternoon. It's still quite difficult, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's a loss the nation continues to reel from.
Yeah, we're trying. I mean, there's an attempt to try and recover, but I think it's just too quick for everybody. Yeah. The sort of difficulty it is still coming to terms with the fact that it happened last week, but life will go on at some point.
Yeah. Anyway, that's our show today. We're back same time tomorrow. I'm Kemeni Amano.
And I am Mawina Egbeta. The afternoon show is next on your television.
Bye-bye.